Well, hello, I'm Alex, and today I've got a quick and easy creativity warm-up for you. Use this to give your brain a little reset, to try something new or different, or just to get out of a funk. You know how I'm always saying how simple it is to spend a few minutes a day in creative play? Well, I'm sure a lot of you are like, well, that's easy for you to say, you're an artist. So, I'm making these videos for you to take tiny play breaks with me. This is your creativity timeout, baby. Just jump in and mess around with whatever supplies you've got on hand. No worries, I'm keeping this no fuss fabulous, easy peasy. Go ahead, check it out. What we're using in terms of colors today is paints and inks. So these are inks for ink pads. So this is what you would drip into your stamping pad. And what I like about it is it's cheap. It's soluble in water if you wanted to thin it out. And it dries super fast. So it's super liquidy and it dries super fast, and it does double duty for your stamp pads and for projects like this. And then I've also got some acrylic paints. So these are super fluid, super liquidy. This is just a normal acrylic paint, and I happen to know that it's kind of translucent. I've used it before. If you have some small tubes of acrylic paint that are starting to dry out, all you have to do is put a little bit in a little cup and add some water and mix it with a little stir stick or with a spoon. And just be patient, mix it, and you'll end up with liquidy paint, which is actually a nice way to use up some of your old paints if they're starting to dry up. Okay. And then I'm going to draw the lines with the permanent pen. So this is just like a Sharpie. So if you've got a Sharpie sitting around, perfect. Does it have to be a Sharpie? No, but because some of these colors might not be totally dry, a Sharpie has no problem going over something that's not, going over paint that's not completely dry. Whereas a different marker might get dirty. So it kind of depends on you. If you've got some old markers and you don't care if they get dirty, then go ahead. Sharpies also tend to be darker, which I want today. I like that. Okay, let's get going here with our different papers. So with the 2 pages, I want to do a transfer. With the card, I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing in the book, which is to splat on one side and to close it and do the transfer that way. That's what we'll be doing inside of a little sketchbook as well. So this is a perfect thing to do if you've got notebooks, journal books that you started at some point. You can, one other thing I'll say is you can put a base coat of paint down because these pages are very thin. And this is inexpensive sketchbook style notebook here, very inexpensive. So the paper's super thin, the color's gonna go right through. And I don't mind that. There are sketchbooks that have thicker paper, and you can also just literally, you can put some white paint down or any kind of acrylic paint down, a thin coat, let it dry, close your book, like do a few pages ahead of time. It's basically priming your pages. Let it all dry, then close your book, put something heavy on top, like flatten it overnight, because it will get a little wrinkly because you're adding moisture to the paper, and that makes the paper get wrinkly. But if you flatten it out, it'll be fine, and it'll be perfect as a primer, so that when you add something like ink, it doesn't show up on the next page and ruin the next set of pages for you. Okay, let's get going here. Splats. Just squeeze out the color like that, and now we're gonna close. I really love doing this. Let's see what happens here. Where am I? So you see how it went right through the paper. So this is what I got. Let me do the blue one. So you can have fun just putting the splats on one side and then seeing what happens when you open the page. So you get very symmetrical things. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry. So let's see what happens when we do that here. You can also like try to make some kind of shape. Now I do have extra paper underneath this because it will sometimes like really go out like that because it's very liquidy. So look what happened. I put a lot down for such a small piece of paper, but we're gonna go with that. Actually, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to transfer directly here, pick up some of that paint, and see what happens. Did any of it transfer? No. This is how quickly this stuff dries, and it's also 100 degrees right now. I love ink for stamp pads. They dry super fast, they're really bright. Okay, so we're gonna use this for what I had intended, which was to do some splats and spills with paint. I'm gonna put one color on one side and the other color on the other side. And let's see what happens. So check that out. Wow, I'm loving that. I'm gonna go ahead and now transfer that onto here. What are we gonna get when I do that? Ooh, check it out. That's beautiful. Let me do that here. Very pretty, very pretty. I'm just gonna keep these here to the side. I'm going to take a page in my journal now. I mean, my little sketchbook here. You see how the color went straight through. So I actually have to go a little further. And I'm gonna transfer it one more time because I'm still trying to pick up on the paint there. Check it out. And I'm gonna do that again. Just trying to pick up some paint, like trying not to waste the paint as it's drying here. Okay, so let's let this dry a little bit. All right, going back to the original one here with the splats, I'm gonna, oops, use this paint. Oops, it's like the more I touch it, the more it wants to come out. Okay. So I'm actually going to use my finger now. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. I was going to say I'm going to use my finger. I was going to use my finger and spread it around, but it's okay. This is fine. This is fine. Two little blobs there. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap and just pick up on that. I'm mostly doing this now to help it dry faster more than anything. Just trying to pick up a little bit. Okay. So you have a choice. You could even use the back side of the paper for what we're doing. I think I might end up doing that, which is kind of funny because it's not what I had intended. But let's see, how can I show you this? Okay, I'm going to use the back side of this one front side of this one if it ever decides to dry. Okay, let me use the back side of this one. So now comes the lines part. And all I want you to do for today is to think about faces or animals, or just using the blob as the body to draw a few lines around it. You can, this is actually something that you can do with thumbprints using stamp pads, and we're using little splats today. So one of my favorite faces is a lion, and all you have to do is draw the eyes, draw a little triangle nose, come all the way down and do the mouth, and then you go around like this, and you got yourself a lion. And maybe we'll give the lion a friend that's, let's see, let's give the lion a friend, a little kitty cat maybe. Actually, this makes me think of ears, so this is like a bunny. Same kind of nose here. Give this guy whiskers. Your lion could have whiskers too, actually. A little tail, 2 little feet. Yeah, let's give the lion some whiskers. Here, what could we do? Well, let's do, how about a little spider? So give it a little smiley face. Do your 8 legs, and then do your spiderweb line. I like doing that. And we have one more blob here. So what does this make me think of? Nothing really. Maybe a monkey. So if I do a monkey, I give him big ears on the sides instead of on the top. Maybe like that. Give him some funny arms, a big tail, and some legs. Something like that. Okay, so we just made some critters with the splats, and I used the back side. Oh my god, you know what just happened? The paint. The acrylic paint is making my pages stick. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, since the acrylic paint stuck those together, I should have just left them stuck. But I wanted to show you what it looks like if the paint is a little stronger, because here it's not as strong because we're looking at the back side. So if I'm looking at the front side, what if we turn this into a big page full of flowers? Well, then you could just use the splat for like the center of the flower and go around and around and around, right? And if this, I'm not even going to touch that. That paint, okay, this paint was a bad idea. Taking too long to dry. Not helping with this video. But anyway, what if we tried again? So look, I'm actually going to use these as my flower thing. Okay, now I know what I'm going to do. This paint is fluid enough where it is drying just fine. Obviously not as fluid as this guy. So let's just get that down, and then I'm going to transfer it because I know I'll need to get some of that off. Ooh, I'm so happy with this now. Okay. I got some scrap paper here. You know what? These are so neat. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I love how the yellow changed the blue, and I'm wondering if I could get more yellow on there, if that's going to mess it up. Maybe on this one that only has one good spot. So I'm just going to go in here and see if I can't add a little more yellow to this guy. Yeah, see? That was a good idea. So double duty here. Picking up on the paint so that it dries faster, but also transferring more color to that pretty paper. Yeah, I'm just gonna go crazy here. Okay, perfect. Still need a little bit of scrap though. You can use the scrap to do one final test to see how much of it is coming up. So this side was obviously more wet. Okay, now. Again, this is why I'm using the Sharpie. Not that I want to ruin my Sharpie or anything, but the Sharpie is not so precious when it comes to drawing over something that's crayon or paint or... Okay, so going back to this flower idea, if these were the centers of your flowers, right? So just pick a few spots and then go around and draw the petals and see what happens, right? This is a fun way to use splats. You don't need to think about it. I'm trying to be really loose here. Right? So that's fine. You can add a little one where you see maybe you want something else. What do you think? And then you could actually go in and use colored pencil. It's fun to combine your mediums. So using the paint just to fill the background randomly by splats, spills, and transfers, and then going in with the pen and then going back in with the color, but on purpose this time to color in. So there's that. And we had the critters. We have that. Let me put this away and let's look at this. So if I wanted to do something similar like I did with the flowers, using this as the background and just going in and repeating a shape is a fun way to add lines. Or you could just doodle all over. So let's see, what should I do? One big doodle? Okay, I'm going to do a continuous line doodle here, which means I'm going to do a flower with the leaves and the stem and everything, but I'm not going to pick up my pen. And that can make for really interesting, because this kind of looks to me like maybe I could have a flower come up. So let's see what happens here. So let's see if I'm going to go up. And then maybe this is a kind of flower here. And then I'm going to come back down like that. Okay, I hope you had fun taking this tiny play break with me. Be honest, it was super easy. Because you know what? When it comes to your creativity, it's never about what you're making. It's about how you feel while making it, right? I've got lots more videos for you here on my YouTube channel, so subscribe, stay tuned, and play. Come back and gift yourself a daily dose of make stuff feel good energy. Thank you so much for being here. Sparkle on.